mechanical carriage to travel without the aid of horses. It was built for the Emperor Maximilian I in 1520. But just round the corner was a new, exciting form of power that was to revolutionize the 19th century: steam. Steam power was first realized by Hero of Alexandria about 130 BC. He built this hollow metal sphere with its two short bent tubes at top and bottom. When the water was heated, steam blew out of the tubes to make the whole thing revolve. Nothing much further happened until the 17th century, when the mining of coal and other minerals was being carried out on a considerable scale. To protect the mines from flooding, Thomas Savery built a stationary steam pumping engine in 1698. But it was in France where the first major step in the steam story was taken. In 1769, Nicolas Cugnot designed a steam carriage for hauling heavy artillery. It had 3 wheels, did 4 miles an hour, and succeeded in knocking down a brick wall during its trials. Back in England, Richard Trevithick also had managed to successfully mount a steam engine on wheels, and in 1804 his portable steam engine was first used on an iron track. Many more experiments were carried out, and suddenly the steam engine became a serious rival to the poor, overworked horse. In 1818, a small steam engine was fitted onto a bicycle. Even the familiar penny farthing eventually gave way to this new smoke-belching contraption. Although people wanted to travel by the new invention, steam locomotion was still a subject for hilarity and sarcasm. Cartoonists of the 1820s poked fun at the future of such vehicles, like this nonsensical kettle fitted with wheels. In 1823, Sir Goldsworthy Gurney spent vast sums of money on developing and building a steam coach. 6 years later, he tested one of his machines by running it from London to Bath at an average speed of 14 miles an hour. This was so successful that many more were built. These steam coaches travelled all over England. Although in time steam was replaced by petrol engines on the roads, these were the forerunners of today's cars.
Oh, blow, why do you go riding alone on your motor car? People all say you're peculiar, singular, so you are. Oh, blow, do let me go, I'll be your guiding star. There's room for two, me and you on your elegant motor car.
In this early silent film, Jimmy Adams wouldn't dare to treat a steam engine with such disrespect as this. Steam power was used for many other applications. As early as 1776, the first ship to be powered by steam was launched in France. This was the beginning of a new age for shipping that was to shrink the globe. Steam was also applied to the land. In 1849 came the first marriage of the steam engine and the age-old plough. The ox and then the horse were, after centuries, relieved of one of their hardest jobs. The steam tractor dominated agricultural activities until the internal combustion engine took over at the turn of this century. Steam power was not only applied to machines restricted to the Earth's surface. Many flying machines had been attempted, but the first to be powered by steam was made in France by Monsieur Henri Giffard. It actually flew on September the 24th, 1852. But the steam engine was too cumbersome for aircraft, and soon other forms of power were utilized. Manpower, the internal combustion engine, and finally, one of the greatest inventions of this century, jet propulsion. By far the greatest of all uses the steam engine was put to, none had the beauty, the fame, or the attraction of the railways. The first railway proper ran between Stockton and Darlington. The line and the engine were built by George Stephenson in 1825. His engine, the Locomotion, travelled at 20 miles an hour and created a sensation. But Stephenson wasn't satisfied. He devised and made a superior machine, the Rocket, which, when finished 5 years later, reached the unheard-of speed of 29 miles an hour. The railway era was born. Lines were built all over the country and eventually encircled the continents of the world. This is a typical country line at the turn of the century that connected cities to hitherto unknown villages. Although the steam engine as a source of power in itself has passed forever, great work is being done by private collectors of steam equipment in preserving them for future generations to see, who otherwise would never witness the power and the smell of steam. Steam engine rallies are held all over the country during the summer months and are well worth a visit. day's work is done. 70 years ago, horses and steam worked side by side as our slaves. Now, we in turn are becoming the slaves of the internal combustion engine.